Hi guys, I'm Dr. Karen Costin, and I wanted to make a really quick video just explaining some of the different things we're going to be doing this semester that we maybe haven't done in previous semesters. And most of this is around Blackboard. I know that most of you, I'm hoping all of you, have used Blackboard pretty extensively. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page as we start the semester. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so here's our typical Blackboard page for animal behavior. Um, it might look a little bit different because I have different professor accesses, but I've put it on the student version, so it should look pretty similar. You guys are familiar with announcements, right? I don't send out announcements a lot, but I probably will more than usual. Just because I'm not seeing all of you every single day, right? Half of you are going to come to class in person on Tuesdays. The other half are going to be doing that on Thursdays. So make sure you're checking your announcements. Whenever I send an announcement, it also gets sent out as an email. So make sure you're checking your school email really often. Our course home section, this is where you're going to find syllabus, information on our textbook. If you haven't gotten that yet, make sure to pick it up. This also might be where I put things like study guides, stuff like that. If you need to get a hold of me, email's the best way. And if you go under Meet Your Instructor, you'll see one of the options is send an email to your instructor. That is going to be the fastest way to get me a message. I check my email daily, although not always on the weekends, but because sometimes it's nice to have a life once in a while. But most of the time, I check that really regularly. The thing I want to point out that's a little different is most of the assignments you have to do are going to be in this quizzes and assignments folder. They'll go in order. Notice there are a few we're starting out with right away. If you click on any of these assignments, some of them are quizzes, some of them are things you would fill out. They're going to tell you when they're due, right? So if we click on this one here, it's going to tell us exactly when the due date is, how many points it's worth. And when you've done your assignment, you can either write it in a text box here, or what I would do is I would probably download the assignment itself. It's a Word doc. I'd fill it in, and then I would attach it as a file. The reason I'm walking through this with you guys now is because I know some students are a little uncomfortable with sending things electronically. We're not going to have a choice this semester. Just for health and safety reasons, I want to minimize the amount of contact we're having with each other and that we're having with paperwork and stuff. So I'm going to be making all assignments available through Blackboard. The other nice thing about this is that if you miss a course or a class for some reason, which we might be doing a little more than we have in previous semesters, you still can keep on track and on top of all of these assignments. They're already here waiting for you. So again, you might download this Word doc. It has some spots you could fill out, putting in your answers, save it to your computer or whatever you're working on, and then attach that completed document here. Like I said, quizzes and assignments are going to be added as the semester goes along, and you'll find most of them here. Now, why do I say most? Because the other thing I'm doing is I'm organizing our material by week so that you can kind of keep track of what am I supposed to be doing this week. Because I'm not going to see you as often, I want to make sure you have ways to check on this, even when we're not together in a room. So let's start with week 1 as our example. For each week, my plan is to put together, the first thing is this little agenda here, right? This is going to say what we're doing in class, what out-of-class activities you should do, any out-of-class assignments and when those are due, as well as an idea of upcoming due dates. What's going to be coming up in the next week or two that you might want to get done even this week if you have time. I'm doing this because I'm really hoping this will help you guys stay on track with what needs to be done. I don't know if it's going to be helpful or not. I'm going to ask you guys at the end of the semester because let me be honest, it's kind of a lot of tedious work to pull these together for all of my 4 different classes that I'm teaching this semester. So if you guys are like, no, I never looked at it, maybe I won't bother doing it again. Because we're going to be only meeting together once a week, you're going to have to get through some more material on your own. I could just assign reading in the textbook. And by the way, that's listed here. We'll put textbook readings under out-of-class activities. But I think a lot of students would prefer getting most or all of that material in some kind of lecture format. There'll be quite a bit of overlap with the textbook, not 100%, so I wouldn't just skip reading the text at all. But what I would probably do is I'd first watch these little mini lectures that I have here, and then go and read the textbook as a supplement, right? These mini lectures are things we're not going to be talking about in class, and the expectation is that you will watch them on your own. Some of them, and I call them mini because they're shorter than a typical class period. Each one varies in length. I made them all. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think they're the most riveting thing ever. I don't have animation and video embedded in every single one because I'm only one human being, and trying to get 4 different classes like this going is taking a lot of time. So really what these are is what I'd be providing in class, but instead you're going to watch some of it on your own. Now you'll see that some of these mini lectures are labeled as interactive. What that means is I've used a program that's called PlayPosit that lets me embed some questions in the middle of the lecture. So when you click on these embedded lectures, it's going to take you, maybe, here we go. It's going to take you out a little bit and have you attempt what's called a bulb. When you hit play on here, I'm not going to do it now, it's going to start the lecture. And at different moments, it's going to pause and ask you to answer something. A discussion question, a thought question, a multiple choice question. These answers don't have to be long. A couple of words, it's a multiple choice, just click on the right answer. But the idea is they're supposed to help with engagement, and they're supposed to give you some free points, easy points, hopefully, just for doing what you should be doing, which is watching these lectures as we go week to week, okay? So again, not all lectures are like that, but if it says interactive, they are. Now, I don't have everything made yet because, well, this is all really new to me, like it's new to you guys. I'm hoping I can get stuff a little bit ahead of time, so we've got a couple of weeks, not because I'm expecting you're all going to want to work way ahead of the game, but that once in a while you might want to, once in a while you might know that your next week is a little busier, so you might want to get ahead on some assignments, stuff like that. I'm also thinking that I'm trying to put as much as I can online, partly because I think there are going to be times where we can't be in the classroom. Maybe you have to quarantine for a little while, or maybe something else is going on. I just know that this is going to be a little different fall than we usually have. So my hope is that by having as much online as I can, you guys can keep up with the class even if you can't come into class. So all assignments, I think, are going to be online. Most material can be accessed online. This is definitely a semester to make sure you've got a friend in every class. So if you have to miss something, they can take some notes for you. A lot of our class is going to be discussion and practice of concepts you guys were already working on outside of class with a little bit of new stuff. So it's not that it's a good idea to skip class at all. It really won't help you. It would be a bad idea. But if you need to on occasion, most of what you need is going to be in this Blackboard stuff. If you have trouble, there is a Blackboard help link right in our course Blackboard page. So I'd recommend taking a look. They've got some simple videos on stuff. If you have any trouble with any of the things I've been making, if they're not loading correctly, please tell me. I'm making all this stuff up as I go, so I'm not sure how perfectly I'm getting it all done, if I'm honest. If you have other questions, please reach out through email. It's something that I'm going to be checking very regularly. And I have to give the caveat, this is how we're starting. Who knows if this might change? Something might be different a few weeks or a month or 2 months into the semester. We're gonna all have to find a way to be kind of flexible. What I can promise you is I'm gonna be doing my best to provide the best education that I can figure out how to do in the time of a pandemic. And I'm gonna be really prioritizing keeping you and I all safe, as well as hoping that we have plenty of time to talk through stuff. So that's why so much of this lecture stuff is online, but we'll have plenty of time then for discussion and answering questions and working through stuff in class. Thanks for being so flexible and for trying out some new stuff with me. I really am open to feedback on how things are going or not going as the semester goes along. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys in class.